weird, actually, because there's a Frenchman who is doing very well at the moment, and I don't believe they have a single skating rinks. They do have in France, but not a ice skating track.
Oh,
so yeah.
Whoa. Is he like that Turkish sports shooter who just showed up in a T-shirt and just a one-handed, no scopes?
Well, I was more thinking of the Jamaican bobsled team,
Oh!
You dead? Sanka, you dead? Yeah, man.
Ooh.
Oh, well.
All right. What are we reading this week?
Today we are reading...
I'm Kaki and you're Kay, by the way.
Oh, yes,
we forget to introduce ourselves sometimes.
Oh, well, I mean, if you're listening to this, unless you're the first-time listener who's just dropping into this podcast for some reason, welcome.
Yeah.
But yes, we are reading a story from Archive of Our Own today. It's called The Good, the Bad, and the Lovely.
Ooh, by tinynerdlet.
I like that name.
I do too. Ooh, it's got category M/M.
Ooh. Data, Geordie, Deanna, Worf, and Alexander are taking place. And the summary is... Events take place during and after episode 608, A Fistful of Datas.
Oh!
Deanna Troi, Worf, and Alexander ended up trapped on the holodeck in a program based around the ancient West. All of the villains take on Data's appearance, though none of them seem to act like Data. During the final shootout, another familiar face appears, and this one says more about Data than any of the others do. And it raises questions that Deanna really wants answered. It is still PG-13, I think.
Oh, it should be.
It should be, yeah.
The chief is pretty cautious in selecting these. And it's very, very well labeled over at Archive of Our Own.
Oh, very good, yes.
Tremendous treasure.
Yes, we wouldn't know what to do without it in acquiring these stories for you to read in between our regular episodes.
Brahem. Deanna walked away from the sheriff's office and Worf 5 minutes before the trade was supposed to take place. If the holodeck program wasn't so lethal and so full of datas, excitement would have increased her pace. Instead, her steps were normal, careful, and her eyes shifted across the dirt-covered road. Not one vacant soul left a Western-style building. No one dared walk the street with her. She was grateful. It gave her a chance to ease into the back of a wagon and hide under the covering. And that's where she waited.
It took a few minutes before she heard a door open and close to her left. It came from the sheriff's office. There were footsteps crunching against the dirt on either side of her. They stopped after a few seconds. Wind passed by. A bird hollered. Then footsteps started again. What kind of bird was that, Kaki?
Look, it's hollering.
Sure.
Birds don't usually holler.
Then footsteps started again. The set coming from Deanna's right were light, childlike, and obviously Worf's son, Alexander. The other was heavier, heartier. No doubt they came from Eli Hollander, who somehow stole Data's face in the time she, Worf, and Alexander entered the holodeck. Both sets of footfalls were slow, rhythmic.
A door opened out of time with the steps to her left. She kept low. They had a plan. She didn't want to ruin it and get anyone killed.
"Eli, get down!" a voice to her right yelled. It belonged to one of the Datas, the one who took the form of Frank Hollander.
"Alexander!" Worf called.
Frantic footsteps scuffled against the dirt on both sides. Then there were shots, 6 of them.
Pew, pew, pew.
They all originated from Frank, a revolver, no doubt. After the shots were there were 3 clear clicks. He'd run out of bullets, and the odds were Worf was still standing. The shield had worked, but it was done working.
Ooh.
She heard it fritz out. A step came after that one. One that sounded like a knock on wood. Deanna sat up in the wagon and cocked her shotgun at the man who owned the lost footfall.
"Don't even think about it," she said, a Western accent coating her words. Oh, this is fun.
The man turned. It was another Data. The program didn't have a name for this one, at least not one that Deanna learned. It didn't matter.
"Senor Frank!" another voice called. Deanna glanced up, and across the street, another Data, one that sported the sombrero and a black mustache.
He was my favorite.
Yes, mine too. Tossed a revolver from the roof of a building. She would have shot him, but it was too late. The revolver fell into Frank Hollander's hand. A gun fired. The gun ejected from Frank's fingers and landed somewhere behind him.
Deanna's eyes flicked to Worf. A revolver was firm in the Klingon's hand. Silence fell.
"Go ahead," Frank finally said. "Shoot me."
Worf cocked his revolver.
"Wait!"
The new voice called from Frank's side. Deanna glanced over, expecting yet another Data to emerge from the alley the voice emanated from. Instead, a woman traipsed across the street, the back of her red dress dragging in the dirt. Once again, she was in front of Frank. She stopped and turned.
It was Geordie LaForge. Oh, my God.
At least the face and visor looked like Geordie's. It was clear by
Ooh.
his longer hair, which curled into a natural tight afro, that it wasn't actually Geordie. No, this was a hologram replacement, just like all the Datas.
Ooh. Sheriff, I know my Frankie's done some bad things, but he ain't a bad man, the image of Geordie said. Let him leave alive, and we won't ever enter your town again, please.
Deanna looked back at Worf. The surprise was clear on his face. She didn't even have to feel it. No doubt her surprise was just as visible, but his surprise drained quickly, just as quickly as his gun lowered, and after a second he nodded.
Let's go, Frank said.
Deanna watched 3 Datas and a Geordie walk out of sight before she hopped from the wagon and joined to Worf's side. They walked into the saloon together, and Alexander was waiting for them.
After asking a few times, the computer finally shut down the program. Deanna felt Worf's gratefulness without a trace of confusion. She wasn't content on leaving that holodeck experience behind without an explanation. As she walked to her quarters, she reached out to Geordie LaForge via communicator. He answered immediately.
I want to report a problem with the holodeck, Deanna said, still doing her...
Okay, sometimes we editorialize. If the author is listening, we know that's not in the text. We're having a little fun. What kind of problem? Geordie asked over the communicator.
Well, Lieutenant Worf and I were on the holodeck, and the villain's character we were interacting with all became Data. And when we tried to shut down the program, it wouldn't let us.
That probably had something to do with the interface experiment Dana and I were trying to run, Geordie said. We plugged Data into the engineering computer in hopes that we could use him as an emergency backup in case there was a ship-wide systems failure. It didn't work out so well. It replaced the entire library with his poetry and the music files with the music he'd been studying recently. We just fixed all those problems, so it's possible the holodeck is fixed as well, but I'll take a look at it just in case.
Is this the first time you're hearing about the holodeck problem?
Yeah? Why?
Deanna smiled. A small smile curled onto her lips. Oh, sorry. Deanna paused. A small smile curled onto her lips.
It's probably best if we talk about that later. Can you come by my quarters when you have the time?
You know?
I like her as a chav. That's
Fair,
what Marina
yeah.
City sounds like.
Sure, counselor. I'll come by as soon as I'm done checking the holodeck.
Deanna only had to wait about 30 minutes. She'd taken the time to check her schedule for the next day and record her personal log. Sharing her experience on the holodeck was far more exciting than she originally thought it would be. She was almost giddy by the time Geordie rang her door chime.
Come in, she said.
Geordie emerged. She felt his calmness and also, just barely, his confusion.
Holodeck's working fine now, Geordie said. The only data I saw was the one I took in there.
So you took data in the holodeck, did you?
He took data
Yeah.
programmed in multiple techniques.
That's good, Deanna answered. Please, have a seat.
They both sat down, Deanna in her chair and Geordie on the couch.
I asked you about the holodeck program because you also appeared as a character in the program.
I did? Geordie asked. Deanna nodded. Did anyone else?
No, just you and Data.
Geordie sighed and looked at the floor.
Well, Data and I are close. If the characters in the program start to look like Data, I guess that me showing up wouldn't be too unusual.
I would have thought that too, but you actually appeared as a love interest to the main villain, Frank Hollander, who took on Data's face.
You know, this is a pretty significant violation of someone's privacy.
I guess.
And maybe should have been discussed with Data before Geordie. I mean,
Well,
it's like discussing somebody else's dream about someone, which
Sure,
they have no conscious control about,
Yeah.
with the person that they're about. Like, that's up to the person, the
that's
dream
a good
havers.
point. Yeah, no, that's a good point, yeah.
Geordie's face jerked up. Deanna could feel the confusion in him swell like a tidal wave. I love that they're using, like, Deanna's additional empathic sense to
yes.
sort of fill in the description. That and a small trace of warmth. It wasn't happiness, not quite that light. No, it was hope.
If it hadn't been for your character, it's possible that Worf would have shot Hollander, Deanna continued.
So, my character was just there to save him? Geordie asked.
I suppose so. I didn't see the character anywhere else in the program, and neither did Worf.
Geordie looked at the floor again. The confusion lingered, but the hope swelled. Deanna leaned forward.
Maybe you should talk to Data about this. I'm sure he would more than be willing to clarify how he feels about you.
He'll probably just tell me that androids don't have emotions, Geordie said. She felt the hope drain a little.
Are you sure?
There was a pause. Then the hope swelled up again. She wasn't sure what triggered it, but there was something there. A memory, maybe.
Go to him, Deanna asked.
Geordie stood. I will. Thank you, counselor.
And he left before she could say, "You're welcome."
just booking it out there, crashing through the door. Data!
Where are you? What have you been dreaming about me? What have you been?
No.
Have you been writing fanfic about me again?
Yeah, please. Oh, this is adorable.
Yes. Thank you, Tiny Nerdlet, for writing this lovely story.
Yeah, that was awesome. It's part 2 of Star Trek: The Next Generation episode-based drabbles. We've heard that word before. Like, apparently, like these little minifics are also called drabbles.
Okay.
I wonder if it's like a particular like slice of life term.
A drabble. I mean,
Yeah.
it doesn't sound like anything else, so it's very hard to.
I love the sort of fanfic community.
Yes. Oh, I mean, yes. It's a shame we didn't get more of Madame Data, but this is a nice twist as well that I certainly wasn't expecting.
Yeah.
I thought this was going to be Madame Data.
Yeah, me too. Now I'm thinking that both of them might like to meet up in the holodeck next, each bringing their own dress and wig. Get in the spirit of things.
No,
Apparently,
totally.
like we don't just have to discover one thing about each other. We can do multiple at the same time.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So, thank you for joining us for this story.
Yes. And next week we're doing another episode of Star Trek, which is... I think I'm getting away with it. Like,
Yes, probably.
not really doing the homework very well. I don't think they notice.
It's also, no, I was going to say the chief doesn't occasionally switch them around because we announced the next story, of course, so the stories have to be in order.
Yeah, kind of. I don't know. He does such good work figuring this out. And it's very difficult with the temporal vortex, like sluicing around all of us.
I'm amazed, but that's why he's our a chief. He knows how to keep those things in control and manage him. So will you give us the little story hint for next time?
Okay. The next story is a different ending to Course Oblivion.
Oh, wow.
Voyager, Season 5, Episode 18. If the Silver Blood Voyager had been able to launch their probe prior to disintegrating. Oh, this is going to break our hearts.
Oh, no. Yeah, I mean, that's kind of traditional for Voyager.
Voyager does have a way of doing... Can we go back to the fucking space Irish? I know it was hugely racist, but at least it was chill.
Well, we never did the follow-up episode yet.
That's right. There is another one to look forward to.
Yes.
Maybe that'll come up in our recommendations. But for now, we have only one more thing to do.
The hell is this?
I'm leaving Starfleet.
Energize!
We hope you've enjoyed this week's episode with the friends Kay and Kaki, production and editing by Chief Engineer Greg, and music by Fox Amour. Join us next week for Savage Curtain TOS 322. Visit joyoftrek.com/links to send us recommendations, support us on Patreon, or to find us on Blue Sky. We'd love to hear from you. Thank you for listening to The Joy of Trek. We'll see you out there.